So here we are again with another segment of the quarantine series here at Accurate, and we're going to be talking about our drags today. You know, we developed our drags, our twin drag reels back in the mid 1990s. It was all about getting a lot of drag on a little reel and how to create the best drag possible for the long range that was going on in San Diego, California. And for us, you know, we designed the reel. It really started with the drag and ended with the drag. I mean, we built the reel and we built the drag system first in the spool. It was a lever drag reel, and then everything else kind of went around that. But that's where everything started for us, was the drags.
You know, and the more drag we created, we noticed that there was other weak links in reels on the shafting, the gears, the type of stainless steel, all these things that went into producing a height and good drag. All the other components had to be as good, and so when we built that drag, we made sure all the other parts were built up to handle all that pressure.
Yeah, of course. The main thing that we did was, you know, do the twin drag. So we did the drag on both sides of the reel. We noticed that every other reel on the market since the beginning of lever drags was just one drag on one side of the spool. We came up with it for the first time ever, drags on both sides of the spool, which we call twin drag.
Yeah, and what was cool about the twin drag is they gave you a smoother drag that has an even amount of pressure on each side. So today, we keep on getting guys. I've had like 3 different people say, hey, what about setting the drag? So what we want to do is talk to you about setting the drag real quick. So normally if you're going to go fishing, you should be setting your drag. And what I always see is people go, oh, that's 10 pounds of drag. And you go, well, not really. It's only like 4. So what we want to do is, like, if you're fishing 30-pound test line, you're going to fish a quarter or a third of the breaking strength of 30 test line. What is that going to be? 7 to 10 pounds, right? At strike. So what we recommend is getting yourself a spring scale, putting your reel on the rod, putting line through the guides of the rod, have someone hold it, warm it up a couple times by pulling down on the line and then attaching a spring scale. Just put a loop in your line, grab the spring scale and start pulling down over the rod. So what that does is it gives you an actual feel number-wise. This feels like whatever, this says it's that on the end of the rod because you got that spring scale there. That's basically the process in which people should be looking at doing. So I think it's real important to understand you need to warm up the drags on the reels.
Yeah, that's right. Make sure you have it on a rod too, right?
Right?
It's got to be on a rod.
Yeah.
Give a couple pulls on there, get the drag warmed up, and then do 2 or 3 pulls and look at what you're measuring and take the mean of that.
Yep, the mean of it. So it's like 3 times you look at the middle, then you know where you're at. But
right.
Slowly increase it until you get to where you're at. Lever drags and star drags are different animals, so you're going to be doing a little bit different things with both things. But things we want you to remember is as the spool on your reel goes down while you're fighting a fish, your drag goes up double. So if you start with 10 pounds and now your spool is half full, your drag is at 20 pounds. At some point, you're going to start backing off the drag. Yep. And at that point usually is when the line's tingy, right? Ting, 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 ting.
Yeah, you'll start hearing it. Yeah.
So we did a lot of fishing for big fish in Puerto Vallarta, and that taught us a lot about fishing. We were fishing 50 size reels with 130 pound on them. It got pretty hairball. But what the thing I'm trying to tell you guys is you honestly don't know what drag you're fishing until you scale your own reels and feel what actual 30 pounds is or 20 pounds or whatever it is. So we just wanted to let you know that you get half line out, you start gaining line back, he's going to start backing off as he's taking a lot more line. You're going to start putting the drag forward and winding as you are gaining line. So
right.
These are important things to remember. And we were just talking about lever drag versus star drag. Lever drag, you sort of know where you're at. You can get it because you got a strike.
You pull it back.
Right? And it clicks, and it will click. If you listen to it, it clicks right into the strike position. With a star drag.
Yeah, there you go. You really don't know where you are. So you're going to start it where you're going to set your drag, like we're saying, but you got to be a little careful because backing off or going more drag, you really don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
Feel. It's all feel.
Unlike others, though, our star drag doesn't have a whole bunch of washers that compress. And when you have a stack washer system and it compresses, you're going to lose your spectrum of drag. And as you lose your spectrum of drag, the possibility of breaking a fish off with just a turn is there. Whereas a lever drag, you're not going to have the same thing, the same problem.
Right.
So hey, this is us giving you some more information for the quarantine series. How is that quarantine going?
We're about done with it, and we're ready to go fishing.
Yeah, I think it's getting warm out there. Things are looking nice, and hopefully things are starting to wind down. So get out there and go fishing.
Hey, thanks a lot. We appreciate your support through this whole time, and we look forward to seeing you somewhere.